sourcing, and presentation raises questions about the authenticity of the cuisine. As you savor that perfectly grilled steak or decadent chocolate cake, you might wonder, is it really made from scratch, or is it just a clever illusion? One of the most surprising aspects of cruise food is the sheer scale of operation. With thousands of passengers to feed, cruise ships have to plan and prepare meals on an industrial level, often relying on pre-prepared ingredients and mass-produced supplies. This doesn't necessarily mean the food is bad, but it can be a far cry from the bespoke, farm-to-table experience many of us associate with fine dining. On a typical cruise ship, the kitchen staff might be preparing meals for up to 5,000 people at a time, using ingredients that have been sourced from all over the world. It's a logistical nightmare, and one that requires a high degree of planning and coordination to pull off. As you explore the ship, you might notice that many of the restaurants and cafes have a distinctly generic feel to them. The menus often feature familiar dishes like burgers, salads, and pasta, but with a vaguely international twist. This is no accident. Cruise lines often use a technique called menu engineering to create dishes that are both familiar and exotic, using a combination of pre-prepared ingredients and clever presentation to create the illusion of a more sophisticated culinary experience. It's a clever trick, and one that can be very effective in creating a sense of culinary excitement and discovery. But it also raises questions about the authenticity of the food, and whether the dishes are really made from scratch or simply assembled from pre-prepared components. If you take a closer look at the ingredients used on cruise ships, you might be surprised at what you find. Many of the staples of the cruise ship kitchen, from the bread and pastries to the meats and vegetables, are sourced from large industrial suppliers. These suppliers often use a range of techniques to extend the shelf life of their products, from preservatives and additives to advanced packaging and storage systems. It's not necessarily a bad thing. After all, who wants to eat spoiled or rotten food? But it does mean that the food on cruise ships can be a long way from the fresh, locally sourced ingredients that many of us associate with good cuisine. And when you consider the carbon footprint of transporting all those ingredients around the world, it starts to look like a pretty unsustainable operation. So what's really going on in the kitchen? To find out, you have to look beyond the glamorous restaurants and buffets and into the inner workings of the ship's galley. Here, you'll find a team of chefs and cooks working tirelessly to prepare meals for the masses, using a combination of pre-prepared ingredients, industrial equipment, and good old-fashioned culinary skill. It's a remarkable operation, and one that requires a high degree of coordination and planning to pull off. But it's also a system that is designed to prioritize efficiency and consistency over creativity and authenticity, which can be a disappointment for foodies and culinary enthusiasts. As you explore the ship and talk to the staff, you might start to notice some interesting contradictions. On the one hand, many cruise lines are now promoting their culinary offerings as a key part of the cruise experience, with celebrity chefs and gourmet restaurants being touted as major attractions. On the other hand, the reality of the kitchen operation can be surprisingly mundane, with many dishes being prepared from pre-prepared ingredients and reheated to order. It's a strange kind of culinary disconnect, and one that raises questions about the value and authenticity of the food on cruise ships. One of the most interesting aspects of cruise food is the way it reflects the broader cultural and economic trends of the travel industry. As cruise lines compete for customers, they are under pressure to offer a unique and compelling culinary experience that will set them apart from the competition. At the same time, they have to balance this with the need to keep costs down and efficiency up, which can lead to some interesting compromises. For example, some cruise lines are now using molecular gastronomy to create elaborate and visually stunning dishes, but these are often made from pre-prepared ingredients and reheated to order. It's a clever trick, but one that raises questions about the authenticity of the culinary experience. As you delve deeper into the world of cruise food, you might start to notice some surprising similarities between the culinary operations on different ships. Despite the varying levels of luxury and sophistication, many cruise lines are using similar techniques and ingredients to create their menus. This is partly due to the fact that many cruise lines are owned by the same parent companies and share resources and expertise across their different brands. But it's also a reflection of the broader trends and pressures of the travel industry, which prioritize efficiency and consistency over creativity and authenticity. So what does it all mean for the humble cruise passenger? On the one hand, the food on cruise ships can be a real highlight of the trip, with many ships offering a wide range of delicious and exotic dishes to try. On the other hand, the reality of the kitchen operation can be surprisingly mundane, with many dishes being prepared from pre-prepared ingredients and reheated to order. It's a strange kind of culinary paradox, and one that raises questions about the value and authenticity of the food on cruise ships. As you sit down to enjoy your next meal on board, you might want to take a closer look at the menu and wonder, is it really what it seems? In the end, the truth about cruise food is complex and multifaceted, reflecting the broader cultural and economic trends of the travel industry. While it's true that many cruise lines are prioritizing efficiency and consistency over creativity and authenticity, it's also clear that there are many talented chefs and cooks working hard to create delicious and memorable meals for their passengers. As you finish your meal and push your plate away, you might want to take a moment to appreciate the incredible logistics and culinary expertise that went into creating your dining experience, even if it's not always exactly what it seems. And who knows, you might just find yourself looking at the food on cruise ships in a whole new light, with a deeper appreciation for the complex and often surprising reality that lies behind the menu. One of the most striking examples of this paradox can be seen in the way that cruise lines handle their buffets. On the surface, these sprawling spreads appear to offer a dazzling array of options, with rows of steaming dishes and intricate displays of carved meats and exotic fruits. But take a closer look, and you might notice that many of the dishes are remarkably similar from one ship to another, with the same familiar staples of cruise cuisine: shrimp cocktail, prime rib, and chocolate fountain, making appearances on menus across the industry. This is no coincidence, as many cruise lines rely on the same network of suppliers and distributors to provide their ingredients, resulting in a kind of culinary homogenization that can make it difficult to tell one ship's buffet from another. Furthermore, the sheer scale of these operations means that many dishes are prepared in vast quantities, often days or even weeks in advance, and then reheated or assembled on board. This can result in a kind of culinary disconnect, where the food on your plate may look and smell amazing, but ultimately lacks the freshness and vitality that you would expect from a truly exceptional dining experience. And yet, despite these compromises, the buffet remains one of the most popular and beloved features of the cruise experience, with many passengers returning time and time again to sample the vast array of options on it. The allure of scoring the cheapest cabin on a cruise can be tempting, but it's a gamble that often comes with hidden costs and unforeseen consequences. What if that rock-bottom price tag means sacrificing more than just a few square feet of living space, but also your overall cruise experience? For smart cruisers, the cheapest cabin is rarely the best value, and it's not just about the money. It's about understanding the intricacies of cruise ship design and the way it impacts your vacation. When you book the cheapest cabin, you're often relegated to the lower decks, where the sounds of the engine and the anchor can be a constant companion. These cabins are typically smaller, with less natural light and limited storage space, making them feel cramped and claustrophobic. But it's not just the physical space that's compromised, it's also the location. Lower deck cabins are often far from the ship's main amenities, including the pool, restaurants, and entertainment venues, which can make you feel disconnected from the rest of the ship. And if you're traveling with family or friends, the cheapest cabins are often scattered throughout the ship, making it difficult to find accommodations that are close together. One of the most significant drawbacks of the cheapest cabins is the lack of flexibility. When you book a lower category cabin, you're often locked into a specific location, with limited opportunity to upgrade or change your accommodations. This can be a problem if you discover that your cabin is noisy or if you need to be closer to certain amenities. In contrast, booking a higher category cabin, even if it's not the most expensive option, can give you more flexibility and options. For example, some cruise lines offer guarantee cabins, which guarantee a certain category of cabin, but not a specific location. This can be a good option if you're looking for a balance between price and flexibility. As you explore the ship, you'll notice that the cheapest cabins are often clustered in areas with high foot traffic, such as near the crew quarters or the engine rooms. These areas can be noisy, with crew members and machinery generating a constant din. And if you're looking for a romantic getaway or a relaxing vacation, the last thing you want is to be surrounded by the sounds of the ship's operations. In contrast, higher category cabins are often located in quieter areas, with more natural light and better views. These cabins are designed to provide a more peaceful and serene experience, with amenities like private balconies and upgraded furnishings. But it's not just about the physical space, it's also about the service. When you book a cheaper cabin, you're often at the bottom of the list for amenities and services. This can mean waiting longer for room service, or having limited access to premium amenities like the spa or specialty restaurants. In contrast, higher category cabins often come with priority service, including expedited check-in, priority dinner reservations, and access to exclusive lounges and amenities. For example, some cruise lines offer a concierge service, which provides personalized attention and assistance with everything from dining reservations to shore excursions. As you consider your cruise options, it's worth thinking about the value proposition of the cheapest cabin. While it may seem like a good deal up front, the hidden costs and limitations can add up quickly. For example, if you book a cheaper cabin and then discover that you need to upgrade to a higher category, you may end up paying more in the long run. And if you're traveling with family or friends, the cheapest cabins can be a false economy, as you'll need to book multiple cabins to accommodate your group. In contrast, booking a higher category cabin can provide more value and flexibility, even if it's not the cheapest option. One of the most surprising things about the cheapest cabins is the way they can impact your overall cruise experience. When you're stuck in a small, noisy cabin with limited amenities, it can be frustrating and stressful. And if you're traveling with others, the lack of space and flexibility can put a strain on your relationships. In contrast, booking a higher category cabin can be a game changer, providing a more relaxed and enjoyable experience. For example, a private balcony can be a peaceful oasis, with stunning views of the ocean and a sense of freedom and flexibility. As you weigh your options, it's worth considering the long-term benefits of booking a higher category cabin. While it may seem like a luxury up front, the added value and flexibility can pay off in the long run. For example, if you book a higher category cabin, you may be more likely to return to the same cruise line, as you'll have a more positive and memorable experience. And if you're traveling with family or friends, the added space and amenities can make the trip more enjoyable and relaxing. In contrast, the cheapest cabins can be a one-time deal, with limited opportunities for upgrades or repeat business. The key to smart cruising is understanding the trade-offs and making informed decisions about your accommodations. While the cheapest cabin may seem like a good deal up front, it's often a false economy. By booking a higher category cabin, you can get more value and flexibility, even if it's not the cheapest option. And if you're looking for a truly unforgettable experience, it's worth considering the premium amenities and services that come with higher category cabins. For example, some cruise lines offer luxury suites with private balconies, personal butlers, and access to exclusive amenities like private pools and restaurants. In the end, the decision to book the cheapest cabin is a personal one, and it depends on your individual priorities and needs. However, for smart cruisers, the benefits of booking a higher category cabin far outweigh the costs. By understanding the intricacies of cruise ship design and the way it impacts your vacation, you can make informed decisions about your accommodations and get the most value and flexibility from your cruise experience. So the next time you're booking a cruise, remember that the cheapest cabin is rarely the best value, and it's worth paying a little extra for the peace of mind and flexibility that comes with a higher category cabin. With a little research and planning, you can find the perfect cabin for your needs and budget and enjoy a truly unforgettable cruise experience. As you delve deeper into the world of cruise ship accommodations, you'll discover that the differences between cabin categories go far beyond just size and amenities. For instance, higher category cabins are often located in quieter areas of the ship, away from the hustle and bustle of public decks and engine noise. This can make a significant difference in the quality of your sleep and overall relaxation. Additionally, many cruise lines offer exclusive perks to passengers who book higher category cabins, such as priority check-in, complimentary upgrades, and access to private lounges. These lounges often provide stunning views, complimentary beverages, and personalized concierge services, further enhancing your cruise experience. Furthermore, some cruise lines offer cabin categories with unique features, such as spa cabins with private saunas and whirlpools, or family-friendly cabins with separate living areas and kids' clubs. By booking one of these specialty cabins, you can tailor your cruise experience to your specific needs and interests. It's also worth noting that higher category cabins often come with more generous storage space, allowing you to unpack and settle in without feeling cramped or cluttered. And, with the added convenience of amenities like mini fridges, coffee makers, and personalized minibars, you can enjoy the comforts of home while still experiencing the thrill